throughout the season, we have been covering topics that kind of feel like things that your group chat would just be popping off about. And this episode, I feel like we wanted to actually talk about kind of the group chat itself, why community is so important, what goes into actually preserving it, like the effort there. And I'm really excited we get to do that with you, writer, editor, and culture critic, Jazmine Hughes. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy and excited to be here. I have so many group chats. Shout out to Cheetah Sisters, the Church Bus, Sex and the Shitty, Ushbucks, the Disgusting Brothers.
Well, okay, so with all these group chats you have, did they all come from group travel? Or are you someone who does a lot of group travel?
Anna, here's the thing. I have been popular my entire life, and it's horrible.
It's hard.
Right? And so often, no, basically the answer is no. My main group chat, my circle of friends, did arise from a group trip. 5 of us went to Jamaica together. The group chat used to be just the Jamaican flag, but we changed it to Church Bus because, we're a bunch of old black ladies on our way. And then Ushbucks, another group chat I have, came from a Las Vegas trip to go see Usher.
Okay.
Which I highly...
That's a good name.
Highly recommend.
Usher live in general, you highly recommend?
I recommend 36 Hours in Las Vegas, and if you can spend some of that time looking at Usher...
Good to go.
Good time.
Thumbs up.
Fantastic. Especially when you get pushed out of your job. Great place to do. Great place to go.
Great place to kind of rethink things. Just to in the presence of Usher, with Usher's thoughts and feelings involved.
When I tell you, I started sobbing when he hit the stage because we were in the 3rd row. Anyway, Ushbucks. And then there's one more. There is a relatively new group chat called the Disgusting Brothers. Shout out to my Succession fans. That has arisen in part because of an upcoming trip that we're all going on. And then I have 4 younger sisters. And once a year we try to get together for Sister Weekend. And that is always, that's the groupest trip of all of fucking group trips.
I only have one sister.
You want some of mine?
Doing it with 4.
I have plenty to spare. You can take one. Jermaine, Javonda, Jamare. They, fun fact, they competed and won Steve Harvey's Family Feud, as a group. I am
to be 1 degree closer to Steve Harvey is huge for me.
Listen, so take one.
Okay,
they've got a really good pedigree.
I've always wanted a little sister, so maybe, depends. But
how old are you?
I'm 29.
You're my little sister now, number 1. I have so many. I can add another one in, Jana. And then,
I'm excited for our Sister Weekend trip.
And then you can come to Sister Weekend. All my sisters have the same, all have J names. We have rhyming middle names. So you would be obsessed. Jana, and we would have a time. It would be great.
I'm excited. I'm actually really good with the itinerary, which brings me to my next question, which is, are you the itinerary traveler? What kind of traveler are you? Is it sleep in, lounge at the beach, or wake up, we have things to do, we have places to attend?
No, traveling is the only place in my life where I completely cede control. I will just say, take my credit card, tell me how much to Venmo you. I do not care. And luckily, I am dating a very well-planned woman, Virgo rising. So she's I got it. It's fun for me. But with my sister,
because you kind of get to release some of that.
Because I get to release, and I'm just I trust your taste. Yes. If I have 1 or 2 things that I definitely want to see, we can talk about it. But planning vacation sort of stresses me out. And there are people who find that really sort of meditating and fun. So I'm God bless you. With my sisters, however, I do have to plan the things because I'm the eldest. I don't have any kids. The eldest sister. I'm a freelance writer, as you can tell by my open toe shoes. I have a more flexible schedule, and I'm the oldest, and so I have the politic to confab with 4 very different insane women and say we got to come up with a plan. Yeah. It's tough. What about you?
I'm definitely an itinerary person.
You're an older sister?
I'm the youngest sister. Yeah. But I think that I feel a lot of ownership for everyone's feelings and how they're enjoying a place. So, for example, even if I just booked a dinner reservation and someone was like, "Oh, my food was a little cold," I take that personally. Is it my fault?
When's your birthday?
I'm a Gemini, June 12th.
What's your rising sign?
My rising is Cancer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Noodle on that.
Okay.
Taurus moon.
Taurus moon. Same as me. All, like,
No wonder we're getting along.
4 of my closest friends, we all have Taurus moons, and I'm like, because we like beautiful things and for things to be situated.
Yes. No, and that's exactly it. Like I want the trip to be relatively smooth and to be where we're spending time together, not time organizing something. But then it's like I put way too much pressure on it.
Yeah, I hate that for you, but I hate the alternative for me, which is that like I'm like, did you get there?
Yeah.
Great, you're grown. Figure it out. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
If our dinner reservation was delayed or the food was cold, I'd be like, that's the restaurant. That sounds like a personal problem. Did you get to vacation?
Did you put that food in the oven? Did you take it out? No.
No, and don't say it. No,
Ergo.
it's not for me.
Yeah. Well, do you have certain pet peeves with group travel, or is it?
Yeah, I dislike when I think with group travel, even though it can be sort of hard for our egos as adults, I think there should be a group leader and we should just do what that person says. My girlfriend and her friends, who are all like very kind and cuddly, when they go on a group vacation, say there's 5 or 6 of them, they do it like 3 times a year. And every trip, 2 people decide where they're going, where they're staying. Like everyone submits their budgets and 2 people plan the trip and you're like, that's the trip. And everyone gets 1 turn every year. But I am, so yeah, not having a plan is definitely a pet peeve of mine. Not having enough space. The thing about having 4 sisters and we all get together, like Anna, I have 2 nieces now, Lorianne in Miami, they're 4 and 2. And so like we can't just get like a nice 2 bedrooms somewhere.
Yeah.
We have to get like a house.
Do you have anything even like up a level from that? Is there anything that you like, you must do this one thing?
When you travel?
Yeah,
Bring
with
slippers.
the group.
Oh, with the group.
Because it's the group dynamic.
It's the group dynamic. Bring noise-canceling earphones and an eye mask. Because if you have to share a room, let's be real, hotels are expensive. You're in Airbnb, whatever. Like, if you can swing it, everyone get their own room.
Yeah.
Then that's a match made in heaven. But if you have to share a room, be able to set, like, your own light and noise preferences. And, if possible, get a place with as many bathrooms as you can.
That checks out. That actually might be it.
If you have a backyard and 5 bathrooms, then you're Gucci.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have a sister. You know what it's like to just be battling out over bathroom space.
Luckily, we were 6 years apart. So we kind of had a good little, we had a beat.
Okay.
But my issue was always turning down the lights in the bathroom because I was like, oh, I don't want to like I would turn it really far down. I was like, I don't want to see my pores. Like, I'm gonna just, and then she's like, I can't see anything in here. And she'd blast the lights on. And honestly, that was probably our worst bathroom fight usually over that, which is pretty good. Pretty good.
As far as sister fights go.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Do you vacation together?
So we went, when she was maybe 5 or 6 months pregnant with my second niece, her and my mom and I all went to Savannah, which was super fun. We had a great time.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we all stayed in the same room. I really organized. I itinerized, a verb version of itinerary.
Yeah.
That trip. To hell.
Period.
There was a deck with everyone's arrival times. It was really, I'm going to show it to you later. It's really beautiful.
Please do. And you are the perfect person to go on vacation with because I'd be like, tell me how much money to Venmo you, and then I'm showing up at the airport.
And then I also made sure, so when we were there, for example, my mom and a sister, we all wanted to get massages.
Right.
But I also wanted to go to this kind of, they have like cool historical graveyards there. Yes. And so I was like, I want to go to a historical graveyard. Yeah. But then my sister, who's 6 months pregnant, is like, I'm not super interested in historical graveyard at this point in time. So she just got, yes, no, was not interested. So she and my mom went and got facials, and then I joined them after. So like it's kind of, I also think maybe that might be part of it is accepting that not everyone will want to do the same thing all the time, and
No,
not
that's
forcing
it's
people
honestly
into it.
it's weird. It's giving like cults if like you and 5, 7 of your friends, adult women, are like getting massages at the same exact
Yeah.
time and going to do this at the same exact time and another like it's great
There
when
needs to be
people
free
can
play.
there needs to be free play, body's choice, and the ability to be like, actually, I want to take a fucking nap. I
Yeah.
don't want to do this.
I think the nap actually might be another one on the list.
But it's like you go on vacation with your friends. You're like, I know you in this very particular context of our everyday lives. And then we're removed from our context and we're all learning things about each other and learning things about ourselves, but mostly learning things about each other. And sometimes you're like, oh, my friend is weird.
Yeah.
Or my friend has bad habits. Or like, I think it's totally fine to be close friends with someone and know that you can't travel together.
I agree with that.
You know?
I think that's something that people need to recognize. I mean, do you think that a lot of these issues, like you were kind of listing some general ones, do you think that most of the issues people have on group travel are like common occurrences?
I think they're common occurrences and they come from not wanting to be honest. And I think even though it's uncomfortable and again might be painful for our ego, going into a group trip, it's best to be brutally honest. One of my best friends, she knows who she is. I love her down, but I will not ever go on vacation with her and share a room with her because I want to remain friends with her. You know, I will be across the hall. I'll be downstairs.
You'll be a phone call away.
Phone
You'll be
call
a text away.
But if we share a room, we're going to fucking kill each other.
Yeah.
So it's not even worth it,
Yeah.
you know? And like we've talked about it, and there are times in which she's worried that she feels that she's coming off as bratty by being like, I need my own room. But it really is, I'm like, it's not bratty because A, you can afford it. B, you're not putting anyone out. But C, you like know yourself. You know what you need to be like your best self.
To show up in the way I want to show up.
And have fun. So get your own room. Who cares? Whatever. And then on the other side, there are friends with whom like anything, we can share a room, we can share a bed, we're sharing a bathroom, we're taking poops in front of each other.
Yeah.
Only one friend, but she knows who she is. I would do it.
There's a list with a name on it.
There's a list with a name on it. And so, yes, you going into a trip, you have to be realistic. There are people who have certain needs. We also have certain needs. And you're like, instead of like trying to be nice about it, let's get real about, I don't know. Sorry, I sort of lost my train of thought because I was going to try to make a real world joke. But let's stop being polite and start getting real and talk about like what we need on vacation. Because the point is to have fun, not to like have a stress test of like how much can you handle when you're a big group of people. Who cares?
I think that's also why I like to overdo the itinerary so that like it makes maybe potentially space for those things, but that's not always the case. So
It's not always the case.
it's not foolproof.
I will also say, as a person who can't drive, as a woman of non-driving
laugh at that, I'm
experience,
sorry.
you laughed mad hard. I want to state for the record, that was a cat goal. And you know what? Respect, because I'm a 33-year-old woman. I need to learn how to drive. But as someone who doesn't drive, I also feel like people who don't drive have fewer rights. I'm sorry. But because I do not know how to operate a motor vehicle, like I have no say in like when the driver is leaving, what kind of car we're getting, like how fast you're driving, how slow you're driving. I'm just happy to be here. And I think that is a hard and fast rule that us with our non-driver state IDs need to accept for ourselves. We have no say. Whereas I am an eldest child, again, don't know how to drive, and I've had to check myself several times.
I'll drive you.
Thank you so much. Girl, we're going to go on vacation. Where do you want to go? We can go to Vegas. 36 hours, usher, in, out. Senior frogs on the way out. Anyway.
I got my corporate card.
But, you know, as the eldest, I always have to make sure that I'm not, like, telling everybody what to do because it's my...
Yes.
Like, I think sibling dynamics really come out in a group chat. And some people are only children, and that's okay. But we all need to, like... remember, you know, sometimes they're new to sharing, they're new to collaborating. It's like we all have to overstand, as my friend Collier likes to say. Sometimes on a group vacation, you have to overstand instead of understand your friend and just say, like, I'm going to give you twice as much empathy because we're all out of our element and I love you and I want this friendship to continue.
I think that's so... I love overstand.
Overstand is pretty good.
I think it's so hard just to be a person sometimes because I want to be empathetic, of course, to boundaries. And I think boundary setting is really important. But it's like, how do you navigate establishing and respecting your own without the guilt? Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like, it's like I want to respect you and I are on this trip. I want to respect your boundaries, but what if they're kind of conflicting with mine a little?
Like, I want to spend every second of every day together, and you're like, actually, I really just want to quietly read this book by the pool for a few hours, right?
I want to read my smutty book. Yeah.
Well, if it's smutty, I'm going to make you read it out loud. We're doing a live reading. But look, okay, so when I came as a member of the unemployed community, freelance writers, when I came into this office, right, you had water, you had snacks, you had air conditioning, you had all these things in place to allow me to sit down on this very comfortable chair and have this fun conversation with you so I could be my best self. On vacation, you have to treat yourself like you're the talent. You know, no one else should be expected to treat you like the talent, but you have to treat yourself like the talent, which is to say, period. Which is to say, if you're like, hey, I need to get up at 7 o'clock and like do my morning pages or I'm going to be a total grouch, like do it. I think that like stating your needs, but also giving a little bit of context is pretty important.
I think context is actually really key here.
Because you are letting the person in, right? You're letting them into your process, into your experience. And I also think that it's, as much as you can, make sure your boundaries don't, like, infringe on other people's comfort.
Yeah.
Like, if you say to me, it's really important for me to get up and listen to screamo music at 8 a.m. every day, I'm going to be like, well,
we might have to compromise.
Let's do a headphone situation.
Yeah.
You know?
And compromising, I think, is most of preserving a friendship.
Totally.
Not most, but a very big part of it. And that means like sometimes adjusting like what the hard bottom line is.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that like preserving community in that sense is like uncomfortable or like inconvenient?
Oh, like making compromises? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am a lesbian with 4 sisters. All I do is apologize to women, okay? Sometimes I mean it. But sometimes I'm like, I care more about winning the war and not the battle. And like, yes.
I fear that I love a good battle win.
I mean, listen, there's nothing like it. You know?
There's nothing like that.
When it's just like 2 people in the ring just verbally sparring. Again, sisters, I feel like people with sisters are good at like seizing in on like the things that the other person is uncomfortable with or like insecure about. So like no one can hurt me the way my sister can, because she'll, instead of calling me like ugly or stupid, she'll be like, your pores are too big and no matter what you do they won't change. And I would be
always
like,
the pores.
oh my god. You know,
that was why the light was so low in the bathroom,
because you didn't want to see your pores. Exactly. And your sister could say some shit like that to you in the way that
and
like,
it would hit. And it would hit
in the way that like an internet troll or like a rando on the street could never say to you, because they don't know you that well, right?
Exactly.
And then like maybe group trips, like we're all sisters, we're all really close and we're jostling, and sometimes you have to just be like, I'm gonna let you be crazy and then I'm gonna sit over here.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
I think like speaking of like mediating conflict, I think like since the Tumblr era, a lot of millennials and Gen Z have started gaining access to, I guess, what we'll call like language and concepts that have histories in like the mental health space, the social justice space. Yes. And not just throwing like your huge pores in your face, but the therapy speak, like you just said. And obviously, like, I'm very happy people like gained access to language to be able to describe themselves and their identities and their feelings, and hopefully better understand what intersectionality means. But I think that language in the wrong hands can be very damaging. It's like fighting with like an evil therapist, or something. And I think that kind of language comes up with boundary setting, comes up with mediating conflicts. Like, do you have that experience, or do you like have even just like any advice on preventing yourself from like being gaslit in these situations?
Anna, I'm a lesbian. You can't say it, but I can say it. Of course I have. And I think I mean, it's frustrating because the language is so empty, right? Like you understand the intention. Like the person is essentially saying like, you hurt me and I'm upset about it, but it's like cloaked in all these things and it's given all these exceptions and rules.
And
it's
they're
just
like, I know that from your childhood. And I'm
right.
like, you don't know.
No. Let's deal with the real. I think sometimes for me, I just hear the other person out, like pinch myself the whole time, do a little Robert Caro, like writing down, shut up, don't say anything. Let them get it all out. And then say like, okay, like, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry I made you feel this way. I love you so much and I care about this relationship. Like, let's take a beat. I also think that it's perfectly fine for two people to disagree. I think it's fine when two people are mad at each other and two people need space. And would the world be a better place if everybody was like me just in this one case? Yes. I think it's about like accepting the discomfort and knowing that's a part of intimacy, and that in order to have like a deep and real, honest relationship with someone, you do have to have these moments of tension, because that means you're being honest with them as opposed to placating them.
Yeah, it's actually...
And then you bitch about it to some other friends who aren't there.
Yes. The bitching is very important.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do have to have like a little satellite friend who maybe sort of knows the people you're on vacation with whom you're in the space you're sharing community with, and like loves them and thinks highly of them too. So that like you are complaining to someone who has context for what you're complaining about and like genuinely feels warmly towards the other person, the context, as opposed to sort of like someone who has nothing to do or has no experience with those people, because then you're sort of just shit-talking your friends.
Yeah, and I think that gossip in itself is so interesting, and I think the role it plays in women's lives is very interesting, because I think a lot of it is, of course, like gossip gets a bad rap. But I think gossip is a tool, a social tool for women that helps them navigate spaces and like move better in a way that's like beneficial to everyone. And I know that a lot of time like shit talk can feel kind of yucky. I just sound like my mom. Yucky. It can feel...
It's never felt yucky for me. When you do it right, it's not yucky.
That's true. But it's okay, so even if it does feel yucky to some people, but it's also inevitable.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes maybe useful.
It's incredibly useful. Gossip is like a true social force. Gossip is the way that
it's a social tool.
It's a social tool, and it's the way that we learn about norms. Like that's how we learn what's okay. Because when we're gossiping, that means somebody has deviated from the norm. They've done something unexpected, something surprising, something wrong. And by spreading the word about that, like you're essentially checking in on how your community feels about that. Some people will be like, oh my God, fuck that person, that's crazy. And other people will be like, doesn't sound that bad to me. Like maybe they had X, Y, or Z going on. I think that without gossip, like there's no way that we can stay in connection with other people. And personally, gossip is really fucking fun. As someone who was homeschooled until the 5th grade and is really just trying to shake off the stench of that every day, I grew up with this nervousness or this neurosis that I wasn't quite normal, that I had missed out on these like seminal early years. And so I started gossiping in elementary school when I finally started going to public school, so I could like fit in and be normal, because I didn't really know. And I also think gossip is good for the soul. Sometimes you just need a little bitch sesh, a joint with your friend, a martini with your girl, and you get it all out. And it's cheaper than therapy. Sometimes better than sex, depending on the sex. Mm-hmm. Not the sex I'm having currently. And depending on the gossip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's gossip that I also think is so juicy that it can transcend language. Like I lived part of the year in Mexico. And last winter when I was there in Spanish immersion school, I had a piece of gossip that was so explosive that I told everybody in my Spanish class. And they
Did you say it in Spanish?
Indeed, I did.
Wow. Okay.
It took a really long time, and it was kind of bad. But even my random friends in my Spanish class were all shocked. Gossip is really, it makes us feel alive and helps us remember that we are people. Gossip is basically like ecstasy, but it's legal and good for you. For me, anyway.
It's legal and gluten-free.
And You're good. You're having some lines tonight, okay? And by tonight, I mean 3:30 in the afternoon. But you're coming up with bars. I like that.
Right. I'm like, everyone write this down.
Write it down.
I think it is too funny though, because I think gossip is something that can also help you reconnect with people.
Yes.
Because even if, for example, like a college friend or something I haven't spoken to in a while, we see like so-and-so, like that someone we knew like breaks up, gets engaged. Like I can text them. I haven't talked to them in months. And it just instantly pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
On talking about this thing. And I like, it kind of almost sometimes feels like putting in the work of preserving the long distance friendship is sometimes through that shared storyline and referring back to it. But do you have preserving long-term friendships is hard. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I can even think of like two off the top of my head that are dead and gone. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But what kind of work goes into keeping those alive?
My gosh. I think that what you were just talking about, sort of getting in touch with an old friend to talk about someone else you know or something you know about, like that's a really good way of establishing a connection because you're returning to that thing you have in common, that experience, that community, those people, that place, whatever. And I think that just helps sort of, I don't know, strengthen the foundation of that relationship, both because it gives you something to talk about, but reminds you where you're coming from, right? I think long-term relationships are really hard, and we should probably get ourselves like more credit for them. A couple of my friends and I will like celebrate our 5 and 10 year anniversaries. We'll go to a nice dinner because it requires so many of the same skills as it does for a romantic relationship, which is like being honest with yourself and the other person, like allowing that other person to change and show up in different ways. And also, like, people move, people change, they cut their hair, they get a new job, whatever, and just, like, rolling with that person, not where that person is, you know? So when
that's an active choice.
It's an active choice. I think our best relationships are both a decision and a choice. Like, I am choosing to be friends with you, and also, like, we are choosing to invest in this relationship. Like, out of everyone in a row, I'm choosing you to be my friend, and the decision is, like, I want to be in this relationship with you. And if that's already sort of the thing that you've accepted, you can work through your fights. You can work through your bad vacations. You can work through, like, getting COVID and having to waste $5,000 on something. You know, like, you can weather those storms when you've already agreed, like, we're in this.
Yeah. Well, I also think, too, that's kind of why there can be a lot of weight placed on the group trip.
Yeah.
Because it's like, especially if you're long distance and long term, this is the time to gather, and like you have a limited amount of time to like make it count.
Yeah, it's like the friendship Olympics kind of.
It's kind of a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, completely. And I mean, I think part of the reason why it's hard for me to answer this question is that I don't have a lot of friends who don't live outside of New York, you know, because it's so hard to keep up those relationships. And when I think about my few friends who I do have, my few very, very close friends who don't live in New York City, it's just like I got to text them something once a week, you know, even if it's a meme, just like, and it's not even about the content of the text. It's like, I was thinking of you because you're part of my life.
Yes.
You're right. You're not someone who I forget when we're not seeing each other. But yeah, when you go on vacation together and you only see each other once a year, like this is a movie genre. This is the movie Girls Trip. This is the movie, this is like every movie about a bunch of like, this is about every movie about more than 3 women. Is everyone like coming back together at the house or at the beach or the plantation or whatever to like check in and see what's up? And like, let's take Girls Trip, for example, like those women were friends since college, let's say 25 years. And like tensions were high. People were fighting. People were like always like coming up with stuff from back in the day. Like the best man. It's just like, anyway, a vacation can be a place where people are bringing their baggage from wherever in the relationship, in college.
Carry On plus others.
Carry On and Other. Do you
Yeah.
remember that show? God, what was the show on Game Show Network? Where it was like, you have a small baggage, medium baggage, and large baggage.
Oh.
It was so good.
I fear the only thing I can think of is like Meghan Markle opening the Deal or No Deal like briefcase. You said luggage.
Meghan Markle is bringing her luggage, and she's opening up, and she's like, Actually, I've always felt that you snapped at me when you had a couple of drinks, and like I'm deciding to talk to you about it right now while we're in Tulum, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's just about being like, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I disagree, but that's okay. And I love you, and I'm sorry that I hurt you.
Well, I think one thing that, to that point, one thing that I think is really interesting, and that it's a concept my therapist has talked about with me before. It's something crazy. Like 70% of the time, people are in relationships, friendships, parent-child relationships, romantic relationships are in a moment of disconnect, and that the power and the intimacy of a relationship grows when you can overcome the disconnect and reconnect, because you had a strong enough relationship to discuss the issue and get to that point of reconnection. And so even those moments of fighting or bringing up when they are upset about something you did and you say, thank you for sharing that with me. It's like, oh, maybe, of course, I don't want to hear about something that you think I've done that is distressing to you, but I love that you felt you could share it. Genuinely love you felt you could share it with me because you didn't think it was going to ruin our relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you feel like, yeah, you can show up and be yourself. I think there's the sort of schema that I apply to relationship uncomfortable, or the schema I apply to uncomfortable moments in relationships is the weird or bad dynamic. It's like I have to check in with myself and say, does this make me feel bad? Or is it just weird and uncomfortable? If something's bad, then you sort of deal with that in your own sort of like tearful, and in my case, like epistemological way, where I'm writing like 20-page letters being like, you hurt me. But if something is weird, you're just like, okay, we're having a weird. It's sort of, I like that terminology that my friends and I use, because it's sort of like, it's softer than a fight, you know? It's not like, oh, Anna and I are fighting. It's like, we're having kind of a weird, we're taking a couple days apart. Like, I'll see her next week when we all hang out, whatever, right? But, yeah, I think that the ways that, oh my God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a gym metaphor. But the way that you build muscle is by strain, right? You like are tearing little muscles, the proteins are coming in.
If it had to be a gym metaphor, it was decent.
And I will say, I do think that everybody gets like one friend, maybe two, who is like your true, blue, real, down-ass friend with whom you never fight. But everybody else, there's got to be like an annual weird, a biannual weird, where you sort of just like have a moment and then you talk it through. Because that's being real. Otherwise, you're just like subliminating your own desires. You're not showing up in that relationship. And then like, then you got bigger problems.
I think sometimes too, I wish that, this is probably not politically correct to say, but sometimes I'm like, I wish we could just like physically fight.
And you're speaking like a true ass sister. Because sometimes you just have to like wail one out on one of your sisters. What's your like go-to fighting move? Like if you could, okay, let's say you have been endowed with all the powers of a wrestler. What move would you do on your sister? And she's not going to be hurt or anything.
She won't be.
She'll be fine.
She won't be.
She'll walk it off.
She'll be fine. She's like she's shorter than me. She has a low center of gravity. She'll walk it off.
Knock her over. She can't get back up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would. I really like the kind of behind the like hook from behind. Ooh, got the mic. Hook the mic from behind. Kind of, and like bring them down that way. Like I kind of want it to be a surprise.
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't thinking like that.
Yeah. But I think there's an advantage in it being a surprise, and then I also think there's an advantage in just owning it and like coming from the front.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, but why do you think that sometimes it's like a physical fight? It's better to do a physical fight.
Because I think sometimes the frustration is so maybe juvenile or petty or temporary that it's like, this will just get it out of my system really quick. You know, like I'm annoyed at you. I'm just like quick, like jab, 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 jab.
Right.
Like we just need this like cathartic moment of
It's cathartic. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I'm about to pop one of my sisters next time she starts talking crazy
tell them
to
I'm
me.
so sorry.
But it's like, I mean, the feeling that we're getting is anger. And when it's from one of our intimates, it's like, it's intimate anger. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like, it's almost like betrayal. Because it's like, you know me, you know my comforts, my boundaries, whatever, and yet you have chosen to disrupt them.
Yeah.
How could you? I have 5 placements in Scorpio. Count them 5. How could you? Thereby, I must destroy you. Here comes the hammer. That would be my move.
So I think what you're saying is we should end this episode by like us kind of just like punching each other in the face. I think that's a good ending.
Okay.
I think we have ice.
Oh my God, you're crazy. Look how tiny my hands are. Nothing would happen to you. Okay.
I wouldn't want to break a nail.
I wouldn't want. Wait, we can't break our nails.
At Flamingo, we do not condone punching people in the face because that would indeed not be clocking that tea or standing on business. Obviously, if we don't punch each other in the face, I think that the last question I will ask you is, what's the most unruly thing you've done all week?
I just came back from visiting some friends on the North Shore of Massachusetts. They have this beautiful house overlooking the beach. And for 3 days straight, I just did the crossword, smoked weed, and ate food. I did not move. I did not work. I did not think. And no, that's not unruly. I'm sorry.
Well, thanks for vibrating on business with me here today.
Oh my gosh, I would love to vibrate on business with you and on a beach somewhere.
I'm excited.
And we can combine our Delta points.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
So this is the Unruly Tapes, stories you can't unhear. And the story that I would like to not unhear from you by hearing it is an outrageous or unruly story from one of the trips you've taken with your many sisters who won Family Feud or any of your friends.
That's gonna be the first line of my obit. Jazmine Hughes, sister to the women who won Family Feud.
I think that's
was not
good.
On it.
I'll write it.
Okay, once I'm gonna say in 2019,
Pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
Do you think that's important?
It's important. No, it's not.
Okay.
What's important is that I, at this point, was a card-carrying lesbian. I was deep in the game. I went to Miami with my best friend. We are at the spa, the Standard Hotel, and we're like going in between the sauna room and the steam room and the pool, and we eventually lose track of each other because body's choice, like you don't have to move together. Yeah. And I don't know, I got bored. And I went into a sauna room, and there was like a handsome man, about 45, and he said to me, "Hot enough for you?" And I was like, I bet I can make out with this guy. And I did. And then maybe like 10 minutes in, I came to, and I was like, what am I doing?
You awoke?
I woke up, and I was like,
from your like moment in...
I awoke from my brief foray back into heterosexuality, and I was like, I gotta go. And he was like, but can you just tell me your name? And I was like, I gotta go. And then I was running around all the sauna rooms. Names. I should have said a different name. There's so many other This is why I have to go on vacation with you. You would have known exactly what to do. But I was running around and trying to find my best friend, and I found her in a sauna, and she was like, where did you go? And I was like, we gotta get out of here.
You're like to a literal, like another dimension. Another version of myself.
There was a glitch in the Matrix, and all of a sudden I was straight again. I don't like it here in Miami. I once tried to take a solo vacation for myself to Jamaica, and then 4 of my friends invited themselves, and 2 of them had a big beef that they sort of like went back and forth on, like in the water, and we all were sort of
in the water.
Like, yeah, we were all just floating in the water, and one girl was just like, I love you so much. I love you too, after a big long talk. Like, I'm sorry that I can be withdrawn, or da-da-da.
That's kind of beautiful.
It was very beautiful, but I was trying to go on vacation by myself. I was like,
you're like, I love that so much. Do that somewhere else.
But I loved that. And then
did not ask to participate.
Did not remotely ask.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I feel like it brought us closer.
And, you know, I think The best part of a vacation is like having a bunch of drinks with your girls, dancing under the stars, being like, this is what life is about. This was the podcast version of that.
I want to cry a little bit. This is huge for me.